She's been called everything from a mystery to a masterpiece. But when she does, the world listens. She's not just the First Lady of the United States. Melania Trump is a billionaire enigma living in a world of private jets, designer fashion, and ultra-exclusive residences. But beyond the glossy magazine covers and White House photo ops lies a story that's more luxurious and more complex than you might imagine. Today, we're peeling back the curtain on Melania Trump's billionaire lifestyle. From her quiet power moves in high fashion to her hidden influence in Trump's real estate empire, this is the untold story of a woman who turned elegance into empire. Melania Naus was born in 1970 in the industrial town of Novo Mesto, in what was then Yugoslavia. Her mother was a pattern maker for a children's clothing factory, and her father sold car parts. But even as a child, Melania stood out, tall, graceful, and fashion-obsessed. By 16, she was modeling. By 18, she signed with a Milan agency. And by 26, she had moved to New York City, a city that would change everything. It was at a fashion party during New York Fashion Week in 1998 that she met Donald Trump. He was loud, she was reserved, he was flashy, she was refined, but somehow the chemistry clicked. When they married in 2005, her wedding gown was a custom Christian Dior couture piece with 1,500 hand-stitched crystal rhinestones. And the price tag? An estimated $100,000. The wedding was held at Mar-a-Lago, Trump's gilded Florida estate, with guests like Hillary Clinton, Billy Joel, and Heidi Klum. That was Melania's entrance into billionaire life, and she's been playing by her own rules ever since. At the heart of Manhattan, arguably the most powerful real estate address in the world, stands a glittering monolith of glass and steel, Trump Tower. But the real treasure isn't visible from the street. It's at the very top. The top 3 floors, which Melania calls home, are a triplex penthouse that rivals royal palaces in Europe. Spanning 30,000 square feet, the home is a shrine to opulence and a masterclass in theatrical luxury. The space was originally designed by Angelo Donghia, an interior decorator known for his work with celebrities like Diana Ross and Ralph Lauren, but Melania's touch transformed it further. The ceilings are hand-painted with Baroque frescoes, the walls drip with 24-karat gold moldings, and the floors are made of Italian marble, so pristine they reflect light like glass. There's a custom Louis XIV-style chandelier imported from France, mirrors imported from Venice. Even the faucets in the bathrooms are gilded. But for Melania, this isn't just excess, it's intention. Every corner of the triplex is curated. She has an eye for design and once told Architectural Digest that she enjoys personally selecting art and furnishings for their properties. She's known to collect art books, sculptures, and fine porcelain. Her office in the penthouse, while rarely seen, is said to be lined with white lacquered wood, soft creams, and blush pinks, a stark contrast to the gold-drenched decor of the rest of the tower. And while Donald Trump has described the penthouse as like living in the clouds, Melania sees it as her sanctuary. When she wasn't in Washington, she could be found here, shielded from the chaos below, looking down over the skyline as if from Olympus. But the triplex isn't her only real estate gem. Melania has also spent much of her time in Florida, splitting it between Mar-a-Lago and a more private Trump family property just 2 miles away in Palm Beach. The home is known as the Beach House, purchased in 2023 under a trust linked to Melania and Barron. With 6 bedrooms, private beach access, and a sleek, contemporary design that sharply contrasts Mar-a-Lago's Mediterranean flair, this estate is a symbol of Melania's growing autonomy. It's reportedly where she spends most of her time now, far from the media glare and away from Trump's political battles. In fact, insiders say she's created a private wing just for herself and Barron, complete with spa facilities, a chef's kitchen, and soundproofed rooms. For Melania Trump, homes are more than places to live. They are fortresses, each one meticulously built to guard her peace and preserve her power. Melania Trump's wardrobe isn't about following trends. It's about creating moments. And when she steps out, it's never by accident. Let's rewind to January 20th, 2017, Inauguration Day. Amid the world's gaze, Melania appeared in a powder blue Ralph Lauren cashmere ensemble with matching gloves and pumps. The media dubbed it iconic, and fashion historians immediately drew parallels to Jackie Kennedy. But many had missed the fact that Melania had chosen a designer known for American classicism, subtly asserting her place as a traditional First Lady, despite the political turbulence surrounding her husband. But that was just the beginning. During her 4 years in Washington, Melania made headlines with her wardrobe choices, often stirring controversy or sparking praise. She wore a Michael Kors sequined jacket to her first State of the Union. She stunned in a white pantsuit by Dior during a joint session of Congress, a statement many interpreted as quietly rebellious. In Sicily during a G7 summit, She wore a floral Dolce & Gabbana coat that cost nearly $51,000. Yes, you heard that right. A coat worth more than many Americans' annual salary. It was hand-painted and adorned with 3D silk flowers. Even when controversy followed, like the infamous "I really don't care, do you" jacket, worn on a visit to a migrant detention center, fashion insiders knew that nothing Melania wore was random. It was always calculated, even if the message wasn't immediately clear. But let's talk numbers, because behind the scenes, the figures are staggering. According to fashion analysts and luxury collectors, Melania's wardrobe is estimated to be worth between $2 million and $4 million. This includes multiple Hermes Birkin bags, some made of crocodile leather, each valued at over $100,000. A Rolex Daytona with a mother-of-pearl dial, likely valued at $35,000. Several Cartier love bracelets and Van Cleef & Arpels Alhambra sets, each piece easily worth tens of thousands. Custom Manolo Blahniks, Louboutins, and rare editions of Giuseppe Zanotti shoes. Her jewelry box is rumored to be insured for over $1 million, with diamond-encrusted cuff bracelets and earrings she rarely wears publicly. And here's something most people don't know. Melania still receives pieces directly from top fashion houses. Designers understand that if she's seen in their work, even once, it becomes a collector's item. But Melania isn't a fashion influencer. She doesn't need a hashtag. She doesn't sell anything on Instagram. She wears couture the way monarchs wear crowns, not to impress, but to assert. When you're married to a billionaire who is also the US president, travel looks different. Melania flies private, usually on Trump's customized Boeing 757, which boasts 24-karat gold seatbelt buckles, silk-lined interiors, and the Trump family crest embroidered onto every surface. She also has access to a fleet of helicopters and cars, including a Rolls-Royce Phantom and armored Secret Service vehicles when needed. And wherever she goes, she brings discretion with her. Melania is rarely photographed in public, often entering through back doors, side gates, and private elevators. And yet, when she does appear at a gala in New York, a charity event in Palm Beach, or an ultra-private fashion dinner in Paris, she steals the show, quietly, effortlessly. She understands the power of scarcity, that in a world where everyone is oversharing, the person who says the least often commands the most. Behind the scenes, Melania is more than just elegance. Before her time in the White House, she launched a jewelry line on QVC and a skincare line that reportedly brought in millions. In 2022, she entered the crypto art scene, launching a line of NFTs, including digital renderings of her eyes and audio clips of her voice. The collection made headlines and raked in over $1 million in sales in under a year. She's also launched Melania's Vision, a platform centered on digital and physical artwork, with a portion of proceeds going toward children's charities. But make no mistake, this is also a business, a quiet, elegant one. Melania's greatest project might just be her son. Barron Trump, now over 6'7" and fluent in multiple languages, is said to be her entire world. Melania has insisted on keeping him out of the spotlight and away from the chaos. She handpicked his schools, managed his schedule, and even delayed her own move into the White House in 2017 to ensure a smooth academic transition. That's how seriously she takes legacy. While Donald Trump is known for empire building, Melania is focused on empire preserving. Her life is a blend of strategy and serenity, where silence is strength and elegance is armor. In a world obsessed with attention, she remains a mystery. But perhaps that's what makes her so powerful. Because in the billionaire game, it's not always the loudest voice that wins. Sometimes, it's the quietest. Melania Trump is the master of quiet luxury, a first lady known for her silent elegance. But what happens when elegance meets ambition? Because just down the family tree is another woman who turned the Trump name into a billion-dollar brand of her own. She walked red carpets, closed deals, and dined with world leaders, not as a supporting figure, but as a mogul in her own right. Melania is the mystery, Ivanka Trump is the empire. Click on the link to watch Inside Ivanka Trump's Billionaire Lifestyle. See you in the next video.